How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Crystalline, and welcome to an interesting twist. I remember I said last time how we had no real antagonist yet. Well, we now have a couple things. First of all, apparently we have the mysterious power yet again to cast without a manipulator, which is supposed to be impossible. Once again, though, we're just a bundle of impossibilities, so frankly not too surprised to discover this, but it adds another cog to the whole system that we're dealing with. Also, we were overheard in the front room talking about trying to find the water temple. We had a pretty solid plan on how to try and look for it. However, we get interrupted by a bard man, I can't remember his name, it was a funky one, who is apparently a famous poet who Liana really likes and is very obsessed with his work. And most everyone else is pretty familiar with it too. He claims that he knows where the water temple is. Now, I was thinking about it, and I kind of think we hit on something. He does look like an old man version of what could be that ice mage guy, the one that I mentioned it before, but I'm kind of more certain about it now just thinking about it, just because the color tones of his outfit are very similar, and that seems to be something they're maintaining with all the other characters. So I have a feeling that he's one of those old heroes as well, but we'll find out. So we're going to have him join us, apparently. Oddly, I find him suspicious. I think the main character agrees with me. Of course, he is a bit biased. I might be a little biased too, but hey, Leanna was really starstruck with him. It was kind of, I don't know. It'd be something, it'd be strange. I mean, it's not like it's unheard of. I mean, if my significant other were to go meet one of her favorite people in the world, like when it comes to like a writing or a movie star or something, like it could be odd, it could be kind of weird feeling like the third wheel in a relationship like that. But especially when we're in the beginning of a relationship with Leanna, it's a very tumultuous time where you can feel like inadequate or not as confident because you don't know, it's all still new and you can be freaking out. So we'll see how ProTag handles it. But yeah, so we're going to probably go looking around beside the cliff sides and finding this temple. Hopefully it's not a trap. I don't think it will be. I mean, it's not going to have any reason for it to be, but yeah, I don't know. There's something fishy about it to me, honestly. Alright, let's jump in. The next morning we met Gingalain, that's his name. Gingalain, bright and early downstairs to the inn. He leads us towards the city exit, and we soon return to familiar roads. Our path takes us along the beach for a short while. The white sands glitter beneath the sunlight and filter annoyingly into our shoes. Yeah, sand in your shoes. It's almost as bad as gravel. Not quite, but close. Ooh, this is it looks very similar, but it is slightly different. Eventually, we return to flat dirt roads and travel late into dusk. When the sun's finally creeping below the horizon, we stop for a bit off the main path into a grove of trees to make camp. After the fire's lit, the savory perfume of dinner makes my stomach growl. We all gather together to serve out the food. Kara sits close to Zach during dinner, her arm brushing against his whenever she takes a bite of food. I catch Zach glancing at her every once in a while before quickly looking away. Ah, young love. Leanna scoots closer to Gilgalain. That's not fun.
So, Gingalan, can you tell us some more stories?
Doesn't seem like it's that. He chuckles.
Oh, I don't know.
Of course you can. Leanna squirms.
Please!
She moves even closer, her eyes glittering with a kind of excitement I usually associate with small children.
We'd love to hear one.
Amelia takes a tiny bite and then nods.
Perhaps one which is not as widely known.
Leanna beams at Gilgalain. Giggling. That's how she said it, right? Giggling? That's not even how it's spelled, but whatever.
Well, if that's what you wish, how can I refuse?
Sure. There's a heavy pause. After a moment, Gilgalain takes a deep breath.
I loved a shadow caster.
Ooh. His voice was low and sad.
I loved how her giggles shimmered with silver. I loved her moonlit hair, her star-flecked fingers. Together we wished, we teased, we played. She covered me in twilight, in soft murmurs and rain. I'll show you, my sweetling, she whispered, she soothed. My friends and their shadow magic are just misunderstood. But, little by little, her mind turned to dark flowers.
Yeah, I think this is one of the heroes, and he's actually talking about the Shadow Mage hero, because there was one.
And violent meteor showers. Shadows poured from her mouth. She spat, she swore, she roared, splattering me with ink, with oil and ore. The night was too strong, too much underneath her skin. It flared from her fingers, her shoulders, her rings. She tore apart our friendship, our home, our dreams. Surely, her friends, dishonest and cruel, surely she had me fooled.
Gillian paused. For a moment, I'm not sure if he's going to continue.
I joined them and discovered too late the mistake I had made. They had been wrong, not her. She was trying to save them, to keep their magic pure.
Oh, interesting.
But the shadows, they whispered. They crawled and lingered. She fell into my arms, light as mist. Her power wreathed about her neck, her chest, her wrists. She sobbed, she whimpered. Please, take me with you. We'll cuddle in our garden of auroras. We'll build a house of starlight, of everything lovely and bright.
This is actually really tragic.
But there was nothing I could do. She faded into twilight, into smoke and wind. I'm left with nothing but the memory of her left on my skin.
Because I'm very certain that's like super accurate to what actually happened. Fetch, man. Okay. Alright. I've been a little harsh on you. There's a thick silence. The weight of his story still hangs in the air. The moonlight casts over Gillian's silver hair and beard, bringing out the darkest shadows around his face. The fire crackles and pops. Finally, Gillian bows his head.
Thank you for listening to my tale.
He had his eyes shimmer with tears.
That was so beautiful.
Gillian smiles, but it doesn't quite reach his eyes.
Thank you.
But it was also so sad.
Trying to steal my girl! Yeah, here's the thing. I kind of do agree with that a little bit. Well, I don't know if that's his intention. I think it's happening. But it genuinely was heartbreaking. My heart caves in my chest. Wow. Such a horrible thing to have to go through. I tried to imagine watching someone I love slowly deteriorate into madness. It couldn't have been easy, and then not having the power to do anything to help or stop it. My heart goes out to whoever that was. It was beautifully written. Gillian looks up at me. His smile is small and sad, and I think I see gratitude in his eyes. Does this story have anything to have to do with him? Yes. He nods.
Thank you.
Soon after we finished eating, Gillian leaves and refills his canteen with water from a nearby stream. Leanne and Amelia go out to a field, but I'm not too certain what it is they're doing. Zach and Cara clean up and seem very content to do so without my help.
Oh, that looks fun.
I look up. Gillian's standing there, retying his canteens to his belt. What does? He nods towards Leanne and Amelia. I follow his gaze to see them practicing magic out in the field. Amelia waves her hand and sends a small flurry of ice across the grass. See, I haven't seen her use ice magic yet, have we? Or did she? Actually, in the big fight with the Cloaked Brotherhood ambush, I think she was using both. Rapunzel grins, hopping up and down with excitement.
Boy! Boy!
He bounces after it, making Leanna giggle. Her manipulator pulses blue, and a small gust of wind breathes out from underneath him, makes him hover above the ground.
Boy!
It's okay. I got you.
Leanna's breeze guides him above the grass, steady and strong. Rapunzel's eyes light up.
Boy!
And he's just zooming across. Boy! Leanna beams. She continues to push Rapunzel along, gathering speed and momentum. She makes him soar across the grass. He lets out a loud squeak of delight. Amelia spirals more and more ice and snow, her magic trailing behind the Rapunzel and glittering like the tail of a shooting star. Gillian sits down beside me.
When I first met you, I felt like I could sense some magic within you, too.
I mean, I have a manipulator, so that would make sense. Gillian studies me. His eyes seem to stare deep within me, as if trying to unmask my secrets. I shift underneath his gaze. Does he already know about me? No, I'm just being paranoid, shaking the thought out of my head. I smile at Gillian, who returns my grin. His eyes crinkle warmly as he smiles.
Admittedly, I'm curious to know more about you. Perhaps I could dedicate a whole verse about you and your adventures.
I would prefer not, thank you. A verse? About me? He nods again, his smile bright and excited.
Where is it you hail from?
Fetch. Saria?
Yes, but where in Asaria?
Somewhere far away, small place, you wouldn't know it.
Try me. I am fairly well traveled.
Fetch. I rack my brain for the names of a city or place or any name. New York! I'm at a school called Hogwarts, or the barren lands of Winterfell. You know what? As fun as it would be to go through the Game of Thrones reference, I think we're just gonna have to go with the honest answer that makes no sense. No, it's called New York. Dang it, that's not what I meant to say! Giggling makes a surprise.
New York?
Yep, like I said, small place, city town, smallest town ever. Not many people have heard of it. Giggling nods, looking deep in thought.
What is New York like?
People shop and go to work. It's pretty boring and super normal.
How odd. I haven't heard of it.
He fixes me with the same stare, and once again I feel the anxiety rise within me. Does he know I'm lying? Well, you're not really lying. It's not in Asaria. Giggle's smile falters, but he doesn't pest me.
Did you leave to study at the Mage Academy?
Leanna taught me. Oh, well, kind of. Not exactly. Leanna taught me everything I know.
Oh, are you training to be a mage knight as well?
Kind of. She's been training me in both casting technique and sword fighting. He nods.
I see. And how long have you been training with her?
How long have I been training on Terra? Feels like years, but it couldn't have been more than a few months. Or a little bit, I guess.
Well, you must have a very high aptitude for magic indeed.
My heart stops. I haven't casted in front of him before. How does he know? What makes you say that?
Well, it takes a very skilled mage to be able to train into a mage knight.
I laugh nervously. Oh, right. Of course.
Hey, what are you guys up to?
I look up to see Leanna standing beside me. She grins with her hands on her hips. Bits of her hair are sparkling from Amelia's ice magic. Just chatting. I shoot to a stand, probably a little too fast, but I'm eager to get out the conversation as quickly as possible. Feeling a bit tired, so I think I'm going to turn in early. Giggling inclines his head.
Thanks for humoring this, old bard.
I nod and shuffle over to the bedrolls. I see Leanna take my newly vacant seat. The pongo bounces over to me, shimmering it from the magic.
Boy!
Did you have a good time?
Boy!
Oh, I'm sure you did. He jumps up and down, mimicking flying. I saw that. You did fly.
Boy!
He jiggles happily and nestles in beside me. It isn't too long before I hear the others start to wind down for the night. I guess I really was more tired than I thought because I soon fall asleep to the warm glow of the fire. This is just, I don't know. It's interesting. Someone's shaking me. Huh? I groan and blink awake. Everything still looks fuzzy. What? It's still dark out. What time is it? Blurry shape hovers over my face. Huh? I'm shaking again, harder this time. What? I groan and blink again, squinting. It takes a few minutes for my eyes to adjust. Really, dude? Well, Amy?
Yes. Good evening.
She doesn't move. Her face is blank but expectant. What's up?
I wish to be with you in private.
Okay, well, this is interesting. I have a girlfriend? You are too young! Heck yeah, is everything okay? No, funny answers, but no, this is weird. This is the first time Amy's sought me out. Something must be really on her mind. Are you alright?
Yes. There's a matter I wish to discuss with you.
Okay. Okay. Give me a second. I slip out of my bedroll and stand beside her.
Please, come this way.
Hope this isn't like some weird like polymorph trap or something. She turns on her heel with a twirl of her cloak and leads me off to the side, far away from the camp and the rest of the group. So, what is it?
I have been pondering the possibility for you casting without the use of a manipulator.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. She just must have had like a brainwave and she wanted to talk about it immediately. Oh.
I believe it may be because you've absorbed magic from the elementals directly. That reservoir of magic has been within you since the Fire Temple, and it merely has been a matter of unlocking your potential to cast from within to utilize the energy. The harrowing situation on the beach proved it to be possible for you to channel from within. After having ample time to think, I believe it will be simple for you to pull that energy again. If this is the case, then perhaps you are able to cast more than one element.
Ooh. Yeah, I thought so. My eyebrows knit together. More than one. She nods.
Thus far, you have only manipulated wind energy. That would lead me to the conclusion that despite the energy you absorbed, you were only using wind energy.
Huh.
If my theory is correct, I believe you may have untapped magic gathered inside of you. Those of the other elements.
That would explain why our magic was so, like... Because when was the first time we cast? It wasn't it was before the Wind Temple, but it was really weak and, like, uncontrolled. But after we went there, it became way more powerful. Hang on. Excuse me. So it's not entirely like, oh, it's because of that, but it definitely is part of it.
It is only a matter of bringing that magic to the surface. Have you attempted to use another element before?
No. Check my head. No, Leanna's just been teaching me wind magic.
I see. Then allow me to show you how to use fire magic.
Oh, this could be bad. What, like right now? She nods and raises her hand. Flames blaze up and curl inside her palm. Red and orange light flickering across her face. Whoa, that's awesome. Amelia doesn't smile, but I can see a spark of pride flicker behind her eyes. She closes her fist. The flame crackles between her fingers before flickering out in a puff of smoke.
Now, it is your turn.
Okay, how do I do it?
It is quite simple. Imagine the fire surging throughout your body. Imagine it flowing up your arm into your palm. If done correctly, a small flame should appear.
So it's pretty much the same way, except you have to imagine it as a fire, which it makes me wonder. I wonder why other people can't cast more than one element. I nod and try to do as she says. Hold out my hand, close my eyes. My brow knits together in concentration. I picture flames coursing through my veins and out of my hand. A teasing warmth tingles down my tips of my fingers, but nothing happens. I open my eyes, frowning. It isn't working. She crosses her arms.
This is a simple cast. Do not give up so easily.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, but maybe for me it's not so simple. It took me some time to learn wind magic. She blinks.
Yes, but this is not wind magic.
Is wind magic notoriously tough?
Perhaps we need a different approach.
She pauses and taps her chin. Oh, don't start attacking me.
You mentioned that absorbing each individual elemental energy gave you a different sensation.
Hey.
Perhaps we should focus on the emotional response you felt.
That's a possibility. The emotion. She nods. It's worth trying. Close my eyes and remember the fire elemental. I remember feeling courage and strength that rushed through me at her touch. The feeling gathered together in my chest, coiling like a hot brand of scarlet. I reach out and latch onto it. Yeah, interesting. Crackling, sparking warmth burst down my arm. Open my eyes, and red sparks fizz across my fingertips. A huge grin splits my face. Ooh, yeah. Whoa. Amelia calmly nods.
Try snapping your fingers.
Roy Mustang style. I do. Tiny flame hisses and crisps, expanding into a larger one. I'm so excited. I almost start laughing. Sweet! She glances at the small flame, then nods.
Yes. Good. Now, let's try this.
Wait, what? The tiny flame puffs out. There's more. Amelia blinks.
Of course. You have only succeeded in creating a basic fire spell. As such, there's still more work to be done.
Right, and plus, shouldn't we try ice too? Like, why don't we? She's a lot stricter than Leanna. I hadn't realized how encouraging it was to have a mentor who shared in the excitement of my accomplishments until now.
If my hypothesis is correct, you should be able to combine your wind magic along with your fire magic.
Ooh, that's potent. Fire tornadoes? Casting at the same time.
Correct. It is the same as any other cast. Focus on channeling your energy through your hand again. If it is easier, perhaps it would be best to summon the wind magic first and add the fire afterwards.
Flamethrower. Amy waits for me to try, but I shook my head. Isn't that what magecasters do?
Yes.
And doesn't it take years of schooling to become a magecaster student? Even more than it takes to become a full-fledged mage knight?
That is also correct.
What makes you think I'll be able to do it with no training or rudimentary understanding of simple single-element casting?
Your ability for learning is already expedited when you consider the length of time it took you to learn how to cast at all. Understanding those timelines, it does not seem unlikely that you would be able to quickly acclimate to double-element casting.
Interesting. Okay, I'll give it a try then. Reluctantly, I extend my hand. Instantly, a cold wind pours from my palm. Amelia's pigtails flutter in the soft breeze.
Good. Now add the fire magic.
Oh, this is gonna be weird. How?
The same way you would normally cast fire.
How am I supposed to feel the same strength with fire, with feeling of freedom and weightlessness with wind? Searching within, I try to balance the two feelings and combine them into one. A moment later, that familiar tingling sensation murmurs down my arm, heat sparking across my fingertips. Fire, larger this time, blazes into turrets around my hand and wrist. I jolt back expecting for it to burn, but it doesn't. The wind groans and whisks around the flames, fanning them larger and larger.
Stop.
I do. The fire and the wind sputter out, and the rest of my strength slips away. My knees buckle, and I gasp, falling backwards against a tree. I slump to the ground like a deflated balloon.
Just as I expected.
Great! I almost died. Now what? Amelia blinks when she notices me on the ground.
Are you unwell?
I lean my head against the tree. I'll be okay. That was just a lot of energy.
I see.
She pauses deep in thought.
Such a feat should have taken you significantly longer to learn.
Hooray! She lifts her gaze back up to my face.
It might be easier for you to channel your energy because you have been absorbing magic directly from the elementals. Your progress seems to be accelerated because you are using energy stored directly from within you instead of a secondary source, such as a manipulator.
Well, doesn't that mean we could be tapping that, like, will we run out? And now I'm trying to take in all the information at once. My body feels so drained, suddenly an effort to keep my eyes open and my limbs up. Amelia glances at me again.
That is enough practice for tonight. Perhaps it would behoove you to get some rest.
I let out a yawn. I am pretty tired. And it is still the middle of the night. Her brows knit together in thought.
Although, if merely casting 2 simple spells in conjunction exhausts you to this degree, I do fear how including more elements will affect you.
What do you mean?
For you to successfully open a rift, you will have to engage all of the elements you have absorbed. To cast multiple elements at once may prove fatal if you experience such exhaustion from using just 2 elements in such a basic cast.
Well, maybe it'll just take practice. My insides freeze. That's a bit of an exaggeration, isn't it? No, like, look how tired you are. Amy shrugs.
Of course. This is merely speculation based on my observations.
Silence fills my head, an odd pounding, fizzing pressure.
Perhaps you will be able to gain the strength to cast all of the elements simultaneously.
What do you mean?
The more you use magic, the more accustomed you become to it. Just like muscles can be strengthened with stamina, your mind can be exercised in such a manner for casting.
Yep, so we just need to practice. How long will that take? She hesitates.
It is no mistake that as you lack the years of training many other casters undertake, you tire much faster than others. At this time, it is difficult for me to estimate that.
My heart sinks. All the time I've been gathering energy from each of the temples to find a way home, but that was a chance I won't even survive long enough to make it back. I fall silent. Amy watching me closely and grows uncomfortable with my disappointment.
As I mentioned before, this is purely speculation.
Yeah, but your speculation doesn't be spot on, Amy. I nod, barely registering what she says. My head feels numb.
Given you are exhausted, it would benefit you to get some rest.
Amy hesitates again, as if unsure what to do next.
Good night.
Nice. She turns on her heel and walks back to camp, leaving me alone with my thoughts. I may actually never return home. My friends and family? I may never see them again. My brain vaguely reminds me that I should get some sleep, but my feet are rooted to the ground. There's always the possibility that I may not be able to open a rift and go home, but the hope was always there. It didn't feel like such a real possibility before. Should I even bother trying to cast a rift if the consequences are literally deadly? Maybe I could be happy here on Terra. Think about my travel companions and the adventures we have together. We've only known each other for a short time, but I trust them completely. Plus, the thought of losing Leanna makes me feel empty. My world is so much fuller and brighter when I can see the way her eyes light up when she smiles, or how she plays with her manipulator when she's nervous.
Can't sleep.
I spin around as a voice to see Gilgalane leaning against a tree. He saw everything, didn't he? Oh, you're up? He nods.
I heard a noise which woke me up.
I see. It's probably me casting. He peers at me in the dark.
Something on your mind?
No, it's nothing. Neither one of us moves.
Of course, how can I expect you to be honest with me when I haven't been fully honest with you?
I knew there was something suspicious about him, especially when he was asking all those questions. Tensing up, I watch him warily. We're not in a position to fight. Honest about what?
The truth is, I had an ulterior motive for joining your group. While I do still believe you'd all make for a fantastic story, I joined to get to know you specifically.
Right. Why me?
I saw you at the beach.
The blood pounds in my ears. Maybe it's not what I think it is. So we were all there, just hanging out.
I saw you cast without using a manipulator, and save that boy.
Oh boy. My heart hammers in my chest and ball my fists. He saw me and he sought me out. He must have been mistaken. That's impossible. Giggling holds out his hands as a gesture of peace.
Please don't take that the wrong way. What you did was absolutely amazing, and I just wanted to learn more about you, to understand how you did that. I apologize if I came off too strong earlier.
Are you going to tell anyone?
No. I understand what it's like to be different from the norm, and how it can be both something special and a burden.
True. Slowly I relax my fists.
I don't blame you for hiding who you truly are. Sometimes that's the safest thing you can do for yourself and others.
Sounds like he's talking from experience. Think back to the story you told earlier this evening. Maybe there was a lot more truth to it than he let on. Thank you. He cracks a smile.
So, will you tell me where you're actually from now?
I freeze, and he laughs at my bewildered look.
I'm just joking with you. If you ever do want to talk, maybe I can lend a little bit of insight. You don't get to my age without learning a thing or two.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. He nods and stretches. There's something about Giggling. Something that maybe it's because he's new to the party and doesn't really know me yet. Maybe it's because I just really need someone to talk to. Something makes me want to share. Oh man. The words tumble out of my mouth. Actually, there is something I'd like to ask you. He nods. So, suppose you had a friend who was from somewhere else and the only way for him to go home is so dangerous there's a chance he wouldn't survive the journey. Would you still encourage him to take that option? Giggling rubs his beard thoughtfully.
I would ask this friend what he means by home.
I blink. His friends, his family, his entire life.
Do you think those people would want him to make a life or death decision just to return to them? Or would they feel better knowing he chose the path that would guarantee him a life he could live as he wished?
Ooh, that's a good point. I never really thought about it like that. But then he'd be stuck in this new world forever. Giggling shakes his head.
Life is a journey. There is no defined destination. And because of that, there are no right or wrong ways to travel along this journey. Perhaps one day, his journey will be safe. Or he may not want to go back. Perhaps another day, the choice will be made for him. Or he can choose between both.
I feel myself relax as he speaks. He's right. I shouldn't give up hope just yet because the challenge has been thrown in my way. Thanks, that actually helped a lot.
Just remember that you have people who care about you, and will support you in whatever you decide.
It's kind of the problem, though. No, it's not me. It's a...
Hypothetical friend, yes.
Man, it's not like it's hard to see through that lie. He winks at me, then stretches again.
Well, I think it's about time I try to get back to sleep.
Same here. Feels to me like Giggle's experienced a lot more than typical Bard. Maybe he's outside to deal with some tough decisions in his life. Either way, he's pretty alright in my book. I head back to the rest of the party in silence. Only the gentle breathing of my friends can be heard over our footsteps. As I curl back into my bedroll, I quickly drift off to a deep sleep. That was interesting. Interesting is like the only word I could think of for that whole experience. I'm shaken awake again! Soft groan escapes as I blink from the blinding sun. Leanna hovers over me and I groan softly. That's right, she doesn't know about my impromptu night training session, because I better get ready to spar. Stifling a yawn, I crawl out of bed and join Leanna out in the field. We practice sparring until my muscles are sore and Leanna is broken out into a sweat. Neither of us managed to knock the other one down this time, leaving us in a draw. When we return to campsite, Kara and Zach are nowhere to be seen.
Hey, where did Zach and Kara go?
Amelia looks up. She's crouched beside the fire pit with a pongo nestled between her neck and shoulder.
They were not here when I awakened.
That's odd. Where's Giggling? Huh? That's weird. Kara usually sleeps in and Zach sticks around to make everyone breakfast. I wonder where they could have gone. Amy sparks a small fire, hanging an iron part over the flames, and Amelia waves her hand. Cool water rushes from her palm and splashes inside. Wait. Oh, so she can do water magic too. Does she do fire and water? I thought... Oh, no, she does ice, too. Man, so she can do 3. She smiles, pleased with herself, and raises a crackling flame to make the water boil faster. Giggling watches on with interest at Amy's skill. After a while, I see Zach and Kara approaching us from a distance. As they get closer, I can see Kara retying her chestnut hair into a ponytail. Oh, snap. There are a few leaves sticking up in Zach's hair, and by the time they reach us, I notice his face is a little more colored than usual. Ho ho ho! Well done, Zach, you dog! Leanna watches them with a suspicious look, but she doesn't say anything. Amy's too preoccupied starting the porridge to notice.
Good morning, friends.
Hi. Kara seems to be in a good mood. I haven't seen her smile this much in a while. Her eyes are brighter, like a cat's. She stands on her tiptoes and picks a few leaves out of Zach's messy hair. Is it just me, or does he have a few extra scrapes than usual? Oh gosh. I can see the tail end of a scarlet scratch torn around his collarbone, curling out from underneath the top of his shirt. His coat is a little lopsided too, like he put it on in a hurry. Kara smiles and brushes some dirt off his broad shoulders.
Hey.
I lift an eyebrow. Hey, where'd you guys go? Zach's face starts to flush.
We went hunting for breakfast.
Dude, he's a horrible liar. I raise an eyebrow. So where is it? Zach blinks.
Oh.
The blush brightens on his cheeks.
I, ate it already.
Raw! Kara's gaze slides up to Zach's face. The corner of her mouth thugs upwards. Oh no!
You sure did do some eating.
Oh no! Not even remotely subtle. Choke and back into a cough. Leanna looks confused.
What did you eat?
Nothing. Zach's cheeks seem to have grown up in flames. His face is ruby red. He avoids eye contact and forces out an uncomfortable cough. Amelia finally looks up from her breakfast and stares at the scene. She glances between Zach and Kara, then back at Zach, and her gaze lingers. Zach shifts under her stare, clearly uncomfortable. Amy's eyes seem to bring it boring to his skin. After a long silence, she tilts her head. Oh dear.
Zach, you appear to be injured.
No, he's not. Zach blinks.
What?
She points.
You have a slight abrasion on your neck.
He chokes and shoves the collar of his jacket up to cover his throat, but to no avail. I can still see it.
Don't worry about it. The hunt just got a little rough.
Oh my gosh. This is gonna become awkward. Well, not really, actually. Let's get used to it. As long as they keep it, like, away. It's like, there's no problem with, like, intimacy of any kind, but it's like, sometimes, like, people bring it too close into, like, your circles, it starts becoming annoying. I had a roommate who brought a little too much of it into the living room while everyone was, like, around. Just because we weren't in the room doesn't mean we weren't close enough to be aware of what was happening, and it was not great. Leanna glances as to where Amelia is pointing. A second later, her face grows pink. Oh, fetch.
Oh, Kara!
Kara fades innocence.
What?
You know what?
I really don't have the faintest idea.
Her eyes are full of mirth as Leanna fidgets.
Never mind. Maybe the rest of us should just eat too.
Her eyes flicker at Kara's smirk.
I mean, eat a meal!
As opposed to?
Nothing!
As opposed to nothing! That's why I said a meal!
Giggling looks from Kara to Zach to Leanna's burning face and bursts into laughter.
I can tell this is going to be fun.
Oh, yes you are. You are absolutely right, Giggling. Zach brushes past him as he reaches for the plates. Kara is a step behind him. Giggling leaves and returns with a few walnuts and berries. Adds them to our porridge and some extra flavor. I have to admit, it'd be pretty bland without them. The rest of the breakfast is passed in uncomfortable silence. Kara casts long glances at Zach, who pretends not to notice. Leanna looks at anyone but the two of them, while Amy seems as oblivious as ever. Only Giggling seems to be thoroughly enjoying himself. I don't know, I'm enjoying myself. Once breakfast is over, we clean up the camp, continue on our way to the water temple. Well, that was interesting. The path crunches under. I'm happy for that. I'm ultimately happy for it. Awesome. And that just, jeez, Kara, she's so freaking blatant. So funny. Alright, the path crunches under our feet. The sky's clear. The sun scatters its fingers like crowns over the tops of the trees. I can see mountains in the distance. The jagged ridge sprawled up along the horizon like ocean waves. When I start to break out into a silent sweat, we find ourselves surrounded by the mountains. I gaze up at the range, a sharp peak like dragon teeth. Others disappear high into the clouds. It definitely still seems like an odd place for a water temple. We step into the hollow of a mountain. The air smells of jasmine and salt. I pause, my eyes falling on a wide cave mouth. Is that the entrance? Giggling beams.
Yes, this is it.
Weird place. We cautiously enter the cavernous entrance. Whoa! Oh, now that's cool. Blue lights flicker around the cave walls as a faint glow radiates. I take another look around and see a large staircase leading down into the deep, dark water. Wait a minute! I'm an idiot! Water magic. Ice is part of water magic. I'm stupid. How did I not think of that before? Ice magic, water magic. Sometimes they're different, but in this case, I'm guessing they're the same. Wait a second. Are we going underwater? Giggling nods.
Yes, sir. These steps will lead us to an underwater tunnel, which will take us to the temple.
Oh, this will be fun. Well, you'd think wind magic could make bubbles for us. Underwater tunnels are a whole lot of nope. Good thing I like to swim like I swim like a fish. What? Oh, dude, that's the worst pun I might have ever seen. This is fine. This is fine? It's like it's okay, or is this fine? Like this is fine. Yeah, unfortunately though, if it were a legitimate one for me, I think underwater tunnels, if I have no breathing apparatus, like if I had scuba gear stuff, underwater tunnels would be awesome. But if I had not, and there's like no light or anything, that's a whole lot of nope. No way. Giggling looks surprised.
What is it?
The rest of the party stares at me too. I guess I'm the only one creeped out by dark existential abyss of cave diving.
Afraid of getting wet?
Shake my head. Don't mind water, but I do mind deep, dark, claustrophobic depths.
Perhaps my water magic could be of assistance.
Giggling looks at her and grins.
We are fortunate to have a mage caster with us who can manipulate water.
He closes his eyes and puts his hand over his chest.
With a mere twist of the wrist, she bends the sea to her will, and to the wave which dare defies her, her ice will freeze it still.
Nice. Leanna's eyes light up.
That was beautiful.
She claps. Giggling smiles, earnest and embarrassed.
Oh, do you think so? Perhaps I should write it down.
You should. Maybe it can go into your new poem.
Are you guys ready? Leanna nods.
Yep. Lead the way.
Giggling leads us down the stairs. Barnacles, seaweed, and mussels cling to the dark gray stones. The water ripples at our feet. The lookout only becomes deeper. Amy steps forward, her manipulator glowing.
Do the stairs continue to descend?
I'll admit I'm uncertain.
It is of no matter. We shall soon discover the answer.
Yes, we shall.
Please, continue.
She waves her arms in the air, and Giggling takes a step forward in the water and moves out of the way of his boot. His grin broadens as the water flows around him, keeping him wrapped in a dry bubble. That would look awesome.
What do you know? There are more stairs.
Amelia remains in the back with her manipulator glowing. We travel ahead of her and continue down the stairs. As we descend further down, I glance up at the shimmering water which slips easily around us. Small schools of fish scurry past, bobbing as they swim around us. Soon the stairs level out. We follow the shallow corridor which opens up into the mouth of a large cavern. Alright. Several tunnels branch off in different directions around the cavern, but it's too dark inside to see where they might go. Whoa! Okay, this one might be my favorite one. This looks freaking cool. Blue crystals glitter all over the cavern. Some cling to the ceiling like icicles, while others spread across the walls like frost.
Boy?
Pongo pops his head out from inside Amelia's pouch. His eyes light up with wonder.
Boy! Water crystals.
What? She points to something behind me. Amelia crosses to a few crystals that are glowing along the ground. She fidgets with her bracelet and the symbols lighting up as she scans them.
Fascinating.
What is it?
These water crystals are mineable ore. One can use them to create spheres.
Ooh. If that's the case, then how come no one's ever come here to mine them? Amelia doesn't even turn around to face me, completely absorbed with the crystals.
This place has been lost to knowledge.
She touches one of the crystals, her bracelet glowing firelight bright. Ice creaks under her touch, and then I hear a sharp snap. Amid the sapphire cracks off and her eyes brighten. She holds up the piece, examining it from side to side. I'm confused. We've seen crystals before. They're all over, powering up every single city we've been to. Is there something special about water crystals? Amelia shakes her head.
Crystals near temples are a rarity. I will use this one to study for further research. Boy?
Okay. The Pongo leaps out of her pouch and nibbles on a large crystal. He wobbles, obviously content. Leanna, Zach, and Kara wander around to check out the crystals. Their deep blue reflects off the water and sparkle dancing lights across the cavern space. It reminds me of a disco ball. The effect is a bit mesmerizing. Giggling turns down one of the tunnels.
The temple should be down here.
I look to where he's going. Something flickers in the depths of one of the tunnels, something silvery and bright. I follow Giggling into the tunnel, where my shoulder bumps into a slick surface. Ow! I brought furrows. We're inside the cave, so what was the wall so smooth? I reach up and touch cool glass. Mirror? I look around. No, a whole room full of mirrors. Oh man. My breath catches in my throat. Hundreds of reflections blink back at me. Guys, are you seeing this? No response. Guys? I turn around. No one is there. Oh no. I notice the walls of the previous path are all lined up with mirrors. How did we walk through that without noticing before? Did the others do the same? They could have gone anywhere. This wasn't just a room. It was a maze. No wonder no one knows. Everyone gets it like get lost and they die. Everywhere I turn, I see myself. I run my hand over a mirror to keep myself grounded, but with so many reflections, I have a hard time keeping track of where I'm going. This feels like I'm going in circles. Let out a small growl of frustration, turning around. Something purple flashes in the corner of my eye, and then something white.
Hey, is that you?
Kara? I turn to see her and Leanna standing at the other end of one of the paths. Kara grins and waves at me. I grin back, excitement flooding into my chest. Finally, I dash toward him, smack into a wall, and slam face first into a mirror. I lurch backward, cupping my nose. Ugh! There are footsteps behind me.
Are you alright?
A blush crawls into my face. Yeah. My nose throbs with pain, but didn't hit the wall hard enough to leave any real damage.
It was hard traveling through this maze for me too.
Three of us jump and whirl around. Amelia cracks her head and stares at me. Cocks her head. So, in a maze such as this, the best thing you can do if you can't just puzzle it out or get used to it is like just stick your hand on the wall and follow the wall. Eventually you'll get out. Just take forever. Where'd you come from?
I followed your voices and found you all here.
Oh, did you see the others? Her gaze lingers on me again.
No.
Leanna twists her hand nervously.
I really don't like the look of this place. The mirrors are so creepy.
Maybe we should find a way out.
What about Zach and Gingalain?
We might run into them. Either way, it's better than just standing here admiring ourselves in the mirror.
Sounds like a plan.
Not really a plan. It's just we wander around and hopefully get out. We twist in and out of the maze. For a while, it feels like we're making progress. We go down a long path leading straight to car size.
Dead end.
She places her hand on the mirror in front of us.
This is going to take forever.
Okay, do we have, like, I don't know, some kind of way to mark it? Like, if we were modern times, I'd say lipstick, but now we have that.
Wait.
I look up. Something shimmers inside the mirror. Foggy at first, but then it slowly becomes clear. Letters shine, brighten, and form together to create a single word. Us. Kara blinks.
That's it? Just us?
She frowns, resting her hand on her hips.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure.
Something to do with us.
Do you think there are more words hidden out here?
Probably.
I glance at Amelia, who wears an intense stare. What do you think, Amy? She shrugs, but otherwise doesn't answer. Guess we move on then. Turn around, try again. The second one takes us longer to find. We keep twisting and turning in circles before Leanna ultimately reaches out and occasionally pats against the solid mirror at the end. Accidentally pats against the solid mirror at the end of a corridor. The letters beneath breathe and flare up again. We form a new word.
Among
Us. Leanna frowns, her brow clicking together.
us and among? What does that mean?
They're really stressing something that has to do with us. I'm not sure I like the sound of that.
There are probably some more words out there we need to find to make sense of this.
If it says like there's a traitor among us, I'm gonna be freaking out. Amy hangs back again and watches silently. She feels my eyes on her and shifts her gaze onto me. I feel like her stare is a challenge, but I don't know why.
Can you make any sense out of this, Amy? You're usually really good with puzzles.
Amy's acting strange. Amelia tears her gaze off me and looks at Kara instead.
I don't know. They just seem like random words to me.
I think she's not real. I think the real Amelia is somewhere else. Kara blinks.
Right, but do you think it means anything?
No idea.
Yeah, well, it's still a dead end, so let's move on. There's a traitor! We turn around again, bumping into even more mirrors. I keep getting turned around. Are we walking the same halls or going down new corridors? My hands reach out and skim across the silver mirrors as we walk. Amy remains silent, seemingly unconcerned. Her gaze continues to bore into me, making me even more nervous than I already feel. I think she's the water elemental. We come to another dead end in which more letters slowly appear. Illusion. It's a message. The words are just jumbled up.
Us among illusion?
Among illusion us.
No, it's illusion among us. Leanna frowns, suddenly looking nervous.
So something among us isn't real?
It's Amy! Kara raises her eyebrows.
Yeah, but what?
There was nothing else with us, just each other. Not something. Someone. Leanna flinches.
Maybe, but who would it be?
Amy. I think it's Amy.
What makes you think that?
No, it's not. That is what makes me think that. That right there. Her brows crinkle in confusion.
Huh?
You are talking like one of my science textbooks. Amy doesn't use contractions or shy away from a challenge. Surprise flickers behind her eyes.
I see.
Plus, you keep staring at me. It's weird. Amy blinks and a crocodile smile spreads across her face. Oh, fetch.
Good.
She shivers and she steps backward into a mirror. When I look through, her image dissolves like water into the milky silver of the glass. When I look again, my own reflection stares back at me. Well, that was unsettling.
No kidding.
The mirrors flash a blinding white. I cringe and cover my eyes as bright spots do acrobats in front of my nose. I hear the sound of something shimmering, and when I look up, I see the maze dissolve into starlight. The tunnel returns to a straight path. I travel down it for a short while before seeing familiar faces.
Oh, it's you guys.
I blink. My eyes are still refocusing from the sudden light. When my vision clears, I see Zach, Amelia, and Giggling heading our way from across the room. Kara rushes over to Zach. Leanna lets out a loud breath of relief.
Amy, you're okay.
Amelia blinks.
I assume the illusion among your group must have been me.
Oh, nice. Whose was yours? Yep. Leanna smiles.
Well, in any case, I'm so glad you guys are safe.
Giggling returns Leanna's smile.
Yes, we are relieved you're all safe too. It's good to be reunited.
As Leanna talks, Zach makes sure to look anywhere except at her. Even Kara knows her eyes.
Zach, you're acting weird. You're not another illusion, are you?
He prickles and shakes his head.
Nope. I am very much me in the most normal and loyal sense of the word.
Okay, he is acting weird.
Loyal? What did you do?
Nothing.
Oh,
I told you I was loyal.
Oh dear. Giggling looks from Zach to Kara, lets out a hearty laugh.
I had not realized it before, Zach, but you seem to be quite the ladies' man.
Oh no.
I will be sure to immortalize all that has happened in this most daring tale of...
No.
Zach's eyes are wide. Oh, I don't think it was Kara. It might have been Leanna. And Leanna might have been a little too flirty.
I mean, that's really not necessary.
What exactly happened on your side?
Leanna, Jingling, Zach, and I had to solve a message.
Yeah. Wait, but Leanna was on our side.
Correct. It was very obvious that the illusion was her.
How so?
No reason.
Uh-oh. I look over at Zach, who's now avoiding eye contact with both Leanna and Kara.
To put it quite bluntly, Leanna attempted to seduce Zach.
Sounds like she kind of succeeded. Leanna's face turns crimson red.
What?
Uh-oh. Kara turns to Zach.
And you fell for her, hey there, sailor, tactics?
Zach's face matches Leanna's redness.
It wasn't like that at all. She was actually good.
Oh, you.
Precisely. Her technique was especially effective.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is how we deduced she could not possibly be the real Leanna at all.
This is the best and worst thing ever. Leanna pouts.
Hey!
Kara whirls around to face Leanna.
Why would you do that? I thought we were
It
friends.
was not her, you idiot. Leanna's eyes widen. She shakes her head.
No. It wasn't me. It was illusion me. I would never hit on Zach.
Kara frowns.
And why not? Is he not good enough for you?
Huh? I mean, he must be okay if the illusion me hit on him.
I knew it.
Oh, fetch.
I don't understand what's happening.
My body prickles. The image of Leanna and Zach together coils a hot band of jealousy deep within my gut. Leanna, why? She whirls to face me, looking flabbergasted.
You too?
Leanna lifts her arms in the air, exasperated.
I was literally with you guys the whole time.
Kara and I glare at her suspiciously.
Hey, don't worry. She'd never be able to do what she did back there in real life.
Kara and Leanna stiffen. They turn to face him, eyes hardening to glare that can slice straight through all the crystals in the cave. We're gonna nope out of this one.
Excuse me?
And what exactly did she do back there?
Oh no. Zach blocks.
Uh...
Yeah, Zach, that's the best response ever. I got nothing. I just stepped on a landmine, you heard the click, and you're like, well, I'm dead. He takes a step back.
I didn't mean anything.
Giggleing's spine suddenly locks.
Do you all hear that?
Kara and Leanna freeze. Everyone stops listening. Stops to listen. There's a sound of rushing water. Is that a waterfall? He nods.
I think so. If we're nearing water, then perhaps we're close to the temple.
That was about to get nasty. We follow the source of the noise. It becomes louder and louder the further we travel. Soon we come across a temple, ruined deep within the cavern. I walk up the steps into the temple. The others follow. A sapphire pool sits at the center of the room. Waterfalls rush and flow into it as crystal glitter and sparkle all around. I stare at the pool as it begins to ripple and shift. A dark shadow ascends from the depths. Oh, hello. Oh, she's very pretty. A woman rises like a sea nymph, water slushing off her body. I flinch in surprise. Oh, hi. Aww. The woman opens her eyes. A soft smile curves her face. I think she might be my favorite one so far. Dark, midnight blue hair flows like wild waves down her lower back. A thin film of water covering her makes her look otherworldly, embracing the soft glow of the crystals. She must be the water elemental. Her laughter sounds like a stream gurgling over precious pearls. The sound echoes deep within my chest and fills me with a strange calm. As she steps toward me, I take a step back, but trip over a loosened stone and fall backwards. Undeterred, she extends her hand and gently cups my face. She leans closer to me, and before I know it, a cool splash of pressure is on my lips. Oh, fetch! My eyes automatically close as I drink her energy. She tastes like pure spring water, and I feel a stream of energy flowing into me, crisp and fluid. All too soon, the feeling ceases. When I open my eyes, she's gone. Oh, Leanna hovers over me. I gasp when I see her, and against my will, a blush blossoms in my cheeks. Oh, hi, Leanna.
Did you just have an encounter with the elemental?
Yes. Yes.
How did it go?
She came on to me. This is gonna be just a nightmare of a cave. I don't know. She just came at me. So, do we try and just lie, or do we just go crazy on it? It wasn't my fault. She came into me. Her brows furrow together.
What?
I needed the energy.
What are you talking
This
about?
was a mistake. Amelia stepped up to me and performed a scan with her manipulator. She hovers by my face and her brows crease in a frown.
How very curious.
What?
My scan reports an unusually high concentration of energy on your lips.
Oh, fetch. Amelia, no! Leanna blinks before her eyes widen.
You kissed her?
She kissed me! No, it's all a misunderstanding.
Your lips didn't touch together to transfer the energy then?
Well...
They did?
It's not like I had a choice. She was already transferring the energy.
I can't believe you.
I'm the victim here. Besides, you flirted with Zach.
That was different. It wasn't even me.
Luckily, Kara and Zach return. Their packs heavy with items. Giggling returns too, although he remains empty-handed.
What's this about kissing an elemental?
Nothing! I scrambled to my feet. I think we spent enough time here already. We should get going. Giggling hides his laughter and nods.
Yes, let us be on our way.
Oh, that was just a carnival of catastrophe. Leanna and Amy lead the way out of the temple while Giggling and I follow close behind. Kara and Zach take one last scan of the area. Afterwards, they follow us out and we start heading back the way we'd come. Without the illusion test, the exit's just a clear path down the tunnel. The maze had completely disappeared. I guess the Guardian was the one who put the maze in as part of the trial. As we travel through the tunnel, I freeze when I hear the faint sound of voices. Uh-oh. Catching Leanna's eye, she wordlessly motions for us to lay low. Zach responds with an imperceptible nod. Well, we've already gone into the lilies, let's just jump in. We creep carefully towards the mouth of the tunnel and hide behind the towering stalagmites. Kara, Zach, and Giggling are on one side, while Leanna, Amy, and I are on the other. The Pungo flattens himself as low as possible to the ground. Peeking around the corner, I see a group of about a dozen people or so, bustling back and forth. The clinking of pickaxes echo through the cave as some of the men chip at the rocks. One of the men removes the luminescent crystal from the cave side and carries it over to the receptacle. Oh man, I like this place being untouched. How'd they find it? They're collecting water crystals. Leanna and Amelia look equally concerned. Leanna already has her manipulator ready for a scan. When she sees the result, her jaw clenches. She shows Amy, who frowns. I drop my voice to a whisper. What is it?
Void.
Are you serious? I peer out again. In the middle of the cave, a group of cloaked figures. As one shifts, I spot double manipulators on his arms. A mage caster. Makes the sense that they need someone who knows water magic to reach the temple. But that's still serious power they're packing for a mining operation. If this is just a mining operation, why are there mages?
It would seem the mining efforts of the water crystals here are to supplement the transmutation efforts of Void.
So it's not so secret after all.
We have to stop them.
Doesn't look like they're set up yet. Scan the area. There's only a few scouts on lookout at the main cavern entrance, a couple of mages, and a handful of miners. No one seems to have detected our presence yet. Zach motions us towards us, catching our attention. He signals that we should flank them and attack. Leanna nods. Zach and Kara begin to creep closer to the tunnel opening. Leanna and Amy confer.
Keep your magic ready. The rest of the team will focus on the scouts and miners. But we'll want to take out those mages as soon as possible.
This will be interesting. Amelia nods, and her manipulators glow. As Leanna readies herself, we begin to move in. I ready my sword, feel the tingle of magic in my fingers. Once everyone's in position, Amelia lets loose the fireball, which lands square in the back of a mage caster. Zack and Kara gets out and engage with the nearest miners. Giggling rushes towards the entrance to take care of the guards, while Leanna and I charge the mages. Alright, here we go. Very simple combat system, right? Click the matching icon. Skull, skull. Axe to the skull, axe to the skull. Yep, sword and daggers. Pretty simple. I defeat the last Void member. He drops to the ground. Panting hard, I survey the fallen Void members. My adrenaline's still high. None of them stir. Slowly, everyone trickles back together, checking that no Void members are still conscious.
Everyone okay?
Yeah, more or less. We all nod.
How did Void know where the temple is?
I wondered the same thing. We got pretty lucky in finding this place.
I'm not sure it was all luck, guys. I mean, we kind of heard a story by a certain person who apparently was kind of involved in Void when his girlfriend was a part of it. So he suddenly seems to know where the temple is, takes his state there, and now Void just happens to be here. I liked Giggling, but I'm seeing too many coincidences.
They must be growing exponentially in power and amassing more resources than anticipated.
What do we do with those mine crystals?
We should take them. They can still be fashioned into crystal spheres, since they haven't been tainted.
I'll help.
Kara and Leanna begin organizing the fallen crystals, and while we hear shouting and down one of the tunnels. What's that?
It sounds like Void reinforcements.
Those scouts must have alerted the rest of the troops before we took them out.
Alright. Someone who's missing. Shouting ceases, but we hear the thunder of footsteps, and before long, a group of about 20 men surround us. Zack shouts at the nearest men, but more replace the ones who fall. Leanna and Amelia shoot blasts of energy at anyone who tries to surround us, but the men keep closing in. Kara throws a handful of daggers at anyone who approaches, and I channel my energy and blast anyone who comes too close. Although our efforts are formidable, the enclosing reinforcements seem endless. As one man falls, another body soon replaces him. They close in on us until we're standing back to back, our breathings labored as we struggle to hold off the men. Giggling closes his eyes, and when he opens them, they flash purple. Oh, fetch! Maybe he's... Oh! His entire body is encased in a violet glow, beginning from the spot on his necklace beneath his throat.
Stand back!
How? His voice is harsh and throaty, unlike the usually smooth, velvety tones. He waves his arms, and elongated shadows extend from his fingertips, pushing back the invading force. Void men groan as they're knocked backwards. Before they can get back up, Giggling points and shadow magic channels out of his hands, colliding square into the enemy chests. They collapse to the ground as more men swarm in. Giggling mutters a few words and throws his hands out again. This time, as the energy channels out of him, it morphs into a phantom claw, which swipes the nearest group of Void members. I watch stunned as Giggling moves in a blur, dodging attack from all of the Void team. Zack occasionally shoots to anyone who gets too close to him, but soon the attention shifts away from us entirely, and everyone targets Giggling. He barely seems to notice the number of men against him as one by one they fall until a pile of unconscious bodies lay at his feet. Once the last man falls, Giggling lowers his arms and ceases his magic. His eyes return to normal as he looks at the slack-jawed stares.
Are any of you hurt?
And here comes the sword, because Leanna's gonna immediately draw her sword on him. I just know it. Slowly, we shake our heads.
That was shadow magic you were using.
Giggling looks apologetic.
Yes, it was.
He looks down and hides his locket that fell out of his shirt during the battle, but not before Leanna notices it.
You were using tainted shadow magic against Void. And that fighting style.
Yes.
Suddenly, both Leanna and Amelia gasp.
It can't be. You're really him?
Giggling smiles sheepishly. Oh, he is the hero! Who is he? What's going on?
It would seem Gingalain is not Gingalain the Bard, but he is also Robin Ostergaard.
Okay. I remember seeing that name somewhere. I racked my brain trying to remember. Oh, from the Heroes of Asaria exhibit. Robin Ostergaard. I thought he was dead.
For all intents and purposes, Robin is dead.
Why did you disguise yourself as a bard?
He gives a soft smile.
I thought it would be best. With all of the disturbances Void caused, there was a massive stigma against shadow magic. I didn't want people to misconstrue the events of what happened or who I really am. I may have been a part of Void in the past, but it was before they turned into the Void that created and used tainted spheres. When their ideals began to shift, I got out. I was lucky, but not everyone was.
His voice chokes up as he pauses to compose himself. I think back to the story he told around the campfire. That must have been his story. Robin's story.
So you gave up the prestige associated with the heroes.
He nods.
Times were hard, and people were confused and on edge. It was simpler for Robin to become what they wanted him to be. I became the Bard to keep the memory of the heroes alive, so they could continue to provide hope of the people.
Interesting. No wonder he holds such high respect for the people of Asaria. He truly does care more about the well-being of the country rather than his own needs. I don't know if he'd been able to see so easily give up the temptation of fame and glory. Robin shakes his head and urgency returns to his voice.
But we need to focus. Void is continuing to taint crystals, and it seems like they're only growing stronger.
Right.
We've been noticing more of a presence of Void, too.
Robin nods.
Since the tainted crystals are the source of their rising power, you'll have to find a way to stop production of those spheres.
It would make the most sense that production would happen at the base of their operations.
Oh, man.
Where is that?
The Shadow Temple.
I had a feeling. That must have been where the operations began back when he was still a part of Void.
They can use the latent energy there to maximize output of tainting crystals.
Well, hey, you know what? We just happen to have someone who happens to absorb such energy.
If you're able to reach the temple and absorb the energy within, you'll put a major dent in their operation.
Ooh. I immediately look at Leanna when he mentions absorbing energy. Leanna looks just as alarmed as I do. She's about to retort when Robin stops her.
I saw what happened at the temple just now, and I felt the change in energy levels.
He turns to me.
I don't know how you're able to do that, but I've seen my share of crazy things in life, and I know that what you have is a gift. Don't be afraid of it because it strays from the norm. Use it for good.
Okay. I feel the earnestness of his voice and it empowers me.
If what he says is true, then it would behoove us to journey to the Shadow Temple.
Well, talk about going straight to the core of it all. Like freaking hornet's nest there.
Do you know where it is, Amy?
Alright, well, let's see. So first, we've had the fire temple, we've had the forest temple, the air temple, the water temple. Yeah, I guess it's the last one. Are we almost done with the game? We might be close to the end. Ooh, I had no idea it was so close to being done. Well, while I like this game and I'm excited for it, I already have the plan for the next game and it's really exciting.
I would need to consult Elderism's notes.
Right.
The Shadow Temple is in the west, right on the border of Avengard.
Really? It's really that close to Avengard?
That's the opposite side of where we are now.
I will mark it down on the map for you all.
Robin and Amelia talk further as he points to the exact location of the Shadow Temple. I survey the fallen Void members around us. What exactly should we do about these guys? And the crystals?
I'll take care of them. You all should get going.
You aren't coming with us?
He shakes his head.
I know you are all more than capable of handling whatever you may encounter. I have other business to attend to now.
Leanna pauses and nods reluctantly.
It's been an honor traveling with you.
Robin grips her hands.
I am the one who is honored to be able to know such a formidable mage knight.
It has been a most enlightening experience to have made your acquaintance. I only wish we had more time to further speak about your background. I have many questions.
I'm sure our paths will cross again someday.
I hope so. Zach nods.
Take care.
Robin nods back. Their stories are
I
very
look
similar.
forward to reading about the dashing beauty who helped save the team from danger.
So you want to read about Leanna then? He laughs.
I wouldn't dream of leaving her out of the story.
Kara blushes. Robin puts on a bittersweet grin.
Until we meet again.
Right. After we say our goodbyes, Amelia conjures up the same bubble for us to travel back through the water. We'll hurry up the stairs until we return to the valley within the mountains.
It seems Void's presence is even greater than we thought.
Agreed. This is more than just a few scattered fanatics. They're reorganized.
Yeah, this is bad. Maybe we're a little over our heads. Like, should we get some other people? Like, go tell, like, the main, like, mage, like, school?
Perhaps we should alert the authorities.
You think they're just gonna take our word for it and believe that Void is back? They'll launch an investigation which would take months, maybe years. And by the time they realize it's true, Void will be even stronger.
Well, why can't we do both? Why can't we let them know and then go and take care of at least gathering the energy from the temple? Like, maybe we can make a dent, maybe we can help stop them, but we can at least alert people and let them know that there are shady operations going on. If they at least hear that it's a possibility, maybe they'll believe it.
Zach's right.
While the team debates the next step, I remain quiet. Void is also on the rise, and the team needs my help to defeat them. But I have energy from 4 temples now, and I have a feeling that this should be enough energy to open a rift and return back home. If I even can return home, Amelia's warning about casting resistance is on the forefront of my mind, nibbles on my thoughts and feeds on my fears. If I try to open a rift, there's a very real possibility that I won't survive the channeling of so much energy. The face of my family reminds me of what I've left behind. How long have I been gone? Are they worried about me? My gaze wanders to Leanna. My heart flutters whenever I see her big blue eyes fall on me. Her smile makes me feel like I'm walking on air. I love her caring nature, and the way she keeps me grounded. Now that I know her, I can't imagine a life without her in it. Terra just feels as real as my home on Earth. What would happen if I left them here to defeat Void without me? Would they be okay without me, or would I just be setting them up for failure? I don't think... Really? You actually could do this? Really? Why? Why would you do this? Like, it makes no sense. A, maybe you can open a rift, but we're pretty sure you'll die. Secondly, you just want to leave them high and dry? You could be the key to saving everybody if you absorb the energy at the temple. And thirdly, Leanna, you're going to talk to her about it? You will just poof, just leave? I'm going to, like, test it and see if that actually does anything after this, because I'm freaking, like... Is that really? Like, could you just end the game here? Because that'd be just ridiculous. Because no, we're going to stay and fight. I can't go home now. There's too much to be done here. I care too much about these people to turn away from them in their time of need. Of freaking course. Gosh darn it. It almost pisses me off that's even a choice. Kind of like in Persona 5. Like, I made sense, at least in Persona 5 for sure, of, like, whether or not you ratted out your friends, but like I was like, seriously, like, come on, like, you really think I'm gonna squeal on all my friends? Like, no. I glance at Leanna. There's no way I can let her down. I'll look into going home after we defeat Void. I grin. Let's go kick some Void butt. The others stop their planning and turn to me. Leanna matches my grin.
That's right. Let's get going.
Indeed. It would be beneficial for us to depart this place.
We all agree. We travel through the mountains until we find a soft, grassy place to make camp. Alright. I think we're going to stop right here, because I imagine we're going to have some very intriguing conversations about, like, what we're going to do next, but really, try and open a portal right there, just try and run away from it all. Freaking stupid. I bet you it doesn't work. I bet you it kills him. It probably should. But hey, that's alright. Well, it looks like, I don't know, like, are we entering the final phases already? It feels like we are. But man, that was short. I feel like Ace Academy was longer than this, but now that I'm thinking about it, it might not have been. Felt like it was longer, but I've gotten used to long series now, so I don't know. But hey, this was still fun. A lot of very interesting, hilarious moments. This might have been one of the funniest and most gut tickling part of the journey so far. Like, it's always had its moments, but this one was freaking it was amazing. Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me for this series. I know it's got its issues. It's not the most well written thing, to be honest, but I still find it fun. So thanks for sticking around for it. And you know what? I think these characters are going to be very, very memorable too. Like, I do think the characterization and the development has been very organic, which is something that Ace Academy kind of lacked. It had it pretty well. One of the better ones I've seen. Especially for given how it has such branching choices. Fantastically developed for a dating sim. But by chucking out some of the dating sim, besides the choices of dating sim, they've really been able to hone in on characters, and that's making it more reminiscent of something like Steins Gate. And anything that starts going in that direction is fantastic news in my book. I think that if new companies like Pixel Fate continue to draw on experience and continue to push themselves and create things that are better and building upon that which they've already done, they can start to approach and make games that might even becoming life-changing eventually. And that's really what's really important. I want to see them succeed. I want them to be successful. I hope you do too. This is something. It's a company to keep your eye on, and as they continue to move forward, I hope that we can see more from them. If I had one complaint, like a serious complaint, I think they lean too much on tropes and cliches. Like, they kind of use it as a self-aware humor, and that's fine. But I feel like they put a little too much stock in them a bit. Because Steins Gate was self-aware. It made jokes about itself constantly, but at the same time, I feel like so far the storyline leans too much on that. For the humor. It's not always, but sometimes it's a little heavy-handed. This episode was kind of similar to that. I felt like it kind of leaned on some of the tropes a little bit. And that's okay, but I'm hoping in future titles they don't feel like they have to use that as a crutch as much to insert humor into the story, and rather can focus more on developing characters and situations that fit the characters and make the characters, put them in situations that are funny because of who they are, That's very difficult. It's a very monumental task to ask of somebody, so I don't know. Maybe I'm being unfair. But anyway, thanks for sticking around to the end. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. And once again, it's a pleasure having you here. You guys are what make this channel so awesome. I'm so grateful to have you with me. And until the next video you watch with me, whatever to see me in next, I'll see you there.